you like audiobooks or audio shows, check out a free trial of Audible. Just click the link in the description.
Hello out there. You are listening to Mindshock True Crime. This is Maura Murray, part 20.
Maura Murray? We'll do Maura Murray? Oh my god.
Maura Murray, part 20.
This is Maxwell Powers.
Silent Umass, part 3. This is your host, Bruce McGuire.
Maxwell Powers here.
Johnny Mill. So, a lot of strange things at UMass. We covered most of them. But there is just so much more to cover that nobody's talking about. Everybody is focused on Rick Forcier, the A-frame house, GPR, which is all important stuff, and all of these need to be ruled out. But when you're looking at a case, this is basic crime solving or detective 101. If you don't know what the truth is, you have to go down every avenue because you don't know what's related or what's not related. So you have to rule things out. If you just leave things open-ended left and right, how are you going to know there could be a critical detail there? So, it's kind of weird how people just want to focus on one thing only. And we will be going back to Haverhill, but there's more to explore in UMass. So, first things first, let's put the final confirmation on Maura's emotional breakdown on Thursday night, whether it was at 10:30 p.m. like Karen re-alleged in her recent interview on the Missing Maura Murray podcast. However, she originally stated she was actually participating in the original family forums on the Missing Maura Murray, on the Maura Murray Missing website, like the family website.
Right.
So there's also been recent speculation that Dunkin' Donuts closed. There were two that were kind of close to the campus. They closed at either midnight or 1 a.m. So if her breakdown was closer to 1:30, Karen is like, let's go to Dunkin' Donuts. She wouldn't be saying that if the Dunkin' Donuts is closed, right? There are further Dunkin' Donuts that might have been 24 hours, but let's look at this. So Clint Harding, so he's an investigator. He was on early in the case. He came up with a lot of good info. He's basically a proponent of the suicide theory. However, he has some things to say. So he posted this. Yes, it is 100% confirmed through her and the school that it was around 1 a.m. or shortly after 1 a.m. that Karen encountered Maura. Karen, in her initial interview with James Renner, had mentioned 10:30 p.m., but corrected herself in a follow-up with him. I haven't listened to the latest podcast episode yet, but either way, she also confirmed with me as well. So it's easy to get confused because the security monitor's schedule at UMass in 2004 and likely today treats the Thursday night shift as a weekend shift, while the mistake Karen was making was to recall a Thursday night as a regular weekday night shift. Here's the schedule for all security monitors in 2004, 100% confirmed. Sunday to Wednesday, 8 p.m. to midnight. Thursday, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday, 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. Karen remembers the incident with Maura by the time because she knows she encountered Maura in the last hour to hour and a half of her shift, and it's easy to assume a Thursday night was 8 p.m. to midnight, like Monday and Wednesday nights. Hence, while she incorrectly mentioned 10:30 p.m. He also said she has confirmed the time with me, and it was around 1 a.m. Here's Karen's clarification to Renner from his blog. One of the reasons, this is Renner stating, one of the reasons I started this blog before publication of a book is so that I can work towards sussing out the details of this case from the beginning to the end until we find the truth. I don't like to rely on anyone else's reporting, and so I have to interview everyone again. Sometimes it's hard to recollect exact times from 7 years ago. I got a chance to contact Karen Mayotte again. And here's what she says. I think I might have screwed up with the times that I originally gave you, and if is that the case, I apologize. That Thursday night, the receptionist had to work until 1:45, 2:45 on Fridays and Saturdays. I think when I first talked to you, I got mixed up as to the day of the week because on Sunday to Wednesdays, it's till 11:45. That night, after I visited the other areas of campus, when I got to Southwest, I met up with the other coworkers at the eatery in Southwest. Can't remember the name. Can find it later if you are interested for more specifics. I didn't eat, but when visiting with the others, another area supervisor told me that Maura was upset and I should go check on her. At that point I did, and You have the specifics from the visit. I do remember when signing her out early, thinking that she would have to wait around 45 to an hour until I could get off shift to bring her to Duncan's or the counseling area. I got off shift at 2:30, so I would have started packing her up at 1:15. 30 minutes before she would get off. Too bad we couldn't grab the police report I filled out the following morning at Umass Police, which would have had the exact time of signing her out to the specifics. Also, to clarify my job title, I was an area supervisor. So a couple different weird things as to how she got informed. If another student saw Maura not signing people in like she was supposed to, the student could have reported it to a supervisor, which reported it to Karen. Because that's one of the most mysterious things. Who was, like, what were the mechanics there? If another supervisor saw Maura, they would have just left her there incorrectly doing her job and walked away? Probably not,
At what
right?
time?
So,
How long has that been going on where she wasn't signing people in? And at what time did it start?
whenever someone first discovered her, it was a little after 1 a.m., so there's an alleged call to the desk line at 12:40-ish. So depending on how long she was on that line, she got upset at about 1 or a little after 1 a.m. So it's probably only a few minutes, maybe 10 to 20 minutes maximum, when she wasn't signing people in, so they could just come and go.
It's like we're talking 1 a.m. Like there's really that many students going in and out.
It's UMass. Zoomass.
Zoom out.
Probably not as much as earlier in the night, but like Thursdays. I mean, you guys don't remember your wild party, college party years? Thursday nights. Really, some colleges start the weekend on Thursday night.
Yeah.
So
Friday nights.
Thursday nights, like the unofficial begin to the weekend. Not as many people start their weekend on Thursday as Friday. Friday's the big night. Probably not even as big as Saturday, but Thursday is the next big, super big party night.
Yeah, they try to take Fridays off so they can sleep in.
So yeah, a lot of people do that as well. Or even if they don't take it off, they still party on Thursday night because
Yeah.
everybody else does.
Yeah.
So again, I don't want to fault Karen of this. So it's not necessarily her fault because some people just forget things all the time. So I'm not saying Karen's in this big conspiracy where they're trying to shift the time to 10:30 so that everybody will forget about the call to the desk, which kind of has been done. They didn't talk about it in the Oxygen show. Like the whole timeline has been shifted, and timeline is very important. Like if you look at any court case, they're always talking about timeline because someone would have to have, you look at motive and opportunity as well. If the timeline doesn't match up, you don't really have a case of anything, right? Because if everything's an open timeline or a manufactured fake timeline, you completely change how the case plays out, right? Mm-hmm. So the timeline is always very, very important. But the easiest way to clarify it would obviously be that police report that she filled out shortly after.
What was the police report for?
After Maura actually, when did she fill out she would have filled it out after Maura went missing. And then nobody ever contacted her about it ever again.
She made a police report because she went missing?
Well, she had an emotional breakdown in a catatonic state and went missing several days later. So she went missing on Monday. This was Thursday night.
So the main reason why is because she saw her, like, acting...
Well, she was and then... Because
then
the
she
police
went
always
missing
ask
and
if
it's
you
like,
know
oh,
anything, if you
okay.
know anything... Because that could have been what started the entire spiral, emotional spiral. I mean, we went over in the previous episode, in the previous 2 episodes about UMass, we went over what the possible call could have been. So the call was from another campus phone. And that was corroborated on older forums too. And I read articles where police were interested in the 1240 call. They actually traced the call and it came from campus.
Oh, that campus?
Yeah, so because it did not come on her cell phone. So it's kind of like this could be a big red herring. The thing that's weird is she said my sister about being upset, but that doesn't mean she was talking with her sister. Somebody could have called her, either one of her sisters or someone else talking about her sister. She could have found out some alarming information, or she was just saying that because she also told Karen that she had a roommate and she didn't. So,
and when did she post that whole, like, there was a death in the family? Was that the next day?
Maura posted that on Monday morning.
Oh, so that's like a few days
early
later.
afternoon. Yeah. So that was what she was doing before she left. I also brought this up. If she sent that email, if someone else is using her computer and making her disappear, They can use her cell phone to make calls to condos or try to get reservations, look up directions on, like, if you're framing somebody for a suicide, would you do that? Yes, no, you want to throw some diversion technique in there or whatever. I'm not saying it was or it wasn't. I'm just theorizing.
Where did her cell phone go? Is never found. She
Her
has it?
cell phone, so here, that's a weird thing. So she lost her cell phone on Saturday night at the campus party, the dorm party. And she left it there. That's when she got into her first car accident in Hadley, where there was the mysterious cadet, which we will be discussing in a little bit.
Was that the first attempt at trying to
Escape?
kill her?
Who knows? She could have been driven off the road. She could have taken the Corolla, which would have been a smarter choice than the car to get away. But we'll also be talking about her car a little bit more. So supposedly she got her phone back when she was working with her friend Sarah. Kate and Sarah were at the party. It was at Sarah's dorm room. Supposedly, there's different
So
stories.
she lost it Saturday, got it back on.
She might not
Sunday.
even have lost it. If something happened and she just wanted to get it out of there as quick as possible, she left. So then Sarah
So
would have
she
given
didn't
it back.
have it.
She did not have it when she left, and she used her dad's phone to call Billy.
And her dad
Or-
was there, right?
Well, she went to the hotel after the accident where her dad was staying, and she used her dad's cell phone to call Billy early that morning. And then later in the afternoon, supposedly, this has not been 100% confirmed, Sarah could have given her phone back to her at the job she worked at the campus art gallery.
Why was her dad there? And she's going to parties and stuff?
Her dad came for the weekend to help her get a new car because the Saturn was... Okay, so if you believe Patrick Vassy was hit, so there was the Patrick Vassy hit and run on Thursday night at midnight. So it seems unlikely that Maura hit him, but somebody could have used Maura's car to hit him. And if they called her and let her know that, she knew that she would be blamed for it. So then her father was coming into town that weekend. His words were they had to find a new car. We'll get into the details with the car in a minute. But her father did speak to her on the phone Sunday night on her cell phone. So she did get her cell phone back. We don't know exactly when, but she made a call.
And then he went back home on Sunday.
I believe he would have, yeah.
And then she went missing Monday.
Yes. Okay. So Sharon Roush, so this is her boyfriend Billy's mother, said they kept an extra key to the Saturn on the exterior of the car. So anybody who knew that could have used her car.
Where was it kept?
It doesn't say.
Billy said that?
Billy's mother.
Billy's mother.
She was active in... Billy wasn't really active after the first week. Sharon's mother continued to post on forums. She had journal entries. She did a lot more than Billy.
So she knows that Maura Murray kept a key outside of her car.
Yes. Fred would have told her that.
Oh, why does everybody know so much?
Well, they're investigating.
Wait, they must have found the key on the externals, right?
Well, Fred used it on Friday to start the car up and start it up. But let's keep this in order. So anybody who had the key who knew about the key could have used the car. So while Maura's at her job on Thursday, somebody else could have taken her car and hit Patrick Vassy, right?
That's a good theory.
So this is from Sharon Roush's journal entries. So one of the most mysterious aspects of the case is Sharon claimed she lost the journal while traveling, like at airport. It was lost luggage. But Clint Harding was able to obtain some entries at an earlier point. So I read a lot of these on the previous podcast, but here's the excerpt about the key. The car was locked, and they, referring to the police, unlocked it and started it with a spare key that was hidden somewhere on the car. The spare key had been placed there sometime in mid-January after Maura had to call AAA when she locked the keys in her car. This was before the mechanical problems. So we're going to get into a lot of mysteries with this car, with this Saturn. So anyone who knew about the key could have driven the car. So did her close friends know about it? So did Kate and Sarah know about this exterior key? Was one of them possibly involved in the Patrick Vassy hit and run? Is that what caused all these issues? We don't know. We have to narrow down when the mechanical problems started. So if the problems had to have started after mid-January, because if what Sharon is stating is true in her journal entry, that's the case. So Maura's car passed Massachusetts inspection October 2003, 4 months prior to her disappearance. 3 months prior, Mid-January is when, according to Sharon, is before the car had mechanical problems. So it was towed apparently over 100 miles to the Amherst parking lot in mid-January and possibly not used again until either the Patrice Vassie hit and run or Maura or whoever drove her car up to New Hampshire. We don't have 100% corroboration on any of this. The car was actually Fred's car, though. And Fred bought the car brand new and used it as a commuter car. He racked up over 100,000 miles on it. But if these are mostly highway miles, I'll get into the exact details with that in a second. So Fred got to Lavoie's garage on Friday the 13th, 4 days after the supposed accident when she went missing. And he said the car started right up and was drivable.
Wait, the crashed car?
Yes.
Okay.
So Fred started it up, drove it out, pulled it out into the driveway. He said no problems.
Okay.
What do you think about that, Maxwell?
So is that supposed to be weird? Like it's not supposed to work? It had problems?
It said, so Fred had
it sat
previously
there for a
stated
while?
the car was running on like 3 cylinders. It had a lot of problems. Nobody knows why Maura would even drive it up to New Hampshire. So that opens the door. Did someone else not know that the car had mechanical problems and they were staging Maura's disappearance? That's why they drove it up there. Or the car really didn't have mechanical problems. So we have to examine that. So one of the neighbors, the Marats, Marat said he saw the reverse lights in the car, indicating the possibility that the car was being backed up, in which case it was drivable. Because some people think that that accident was staged. The PIs that investigated the case from the beginning said that it was a staged accident scene. That was their findings, because it did not hit the tree as indicated in the police report.
Snowbank, though?
It couldn't have hit a snowbank either because the damage was on top of the hood.
It was really weird.
As if from a hit and run, or some of the PIs theorized it could have been from a tow hitch from the front of a truck that was towing the car. But it definitely wasn't a tree.
Snowbank? I thought that was like a thing.
It ended up next to this. It ended up next to the
Ah,
snowbank.
okay. And the only person that saw her was that bus driver.
And initially he said it wasn't her when he first was shown the picture.
Okay.
Then he said it was her. Because he said her hair was down. She normally did not wear it down. And he said it didn't really look like her then. And he also changed the story about a bunch of different things. We talked about Butch extensively. So a quick search on the reliability of the 1996 Saturn LSs comes up solid. Most complaints are in the areas of power, handling, and comfort. Reliability is above average for a sedan. Many users also praised its gas mileage, most getting over 30 miles per gallon, some getting 36 miles per gallon highway, which is pretty good for a 1996 car. So, common issues reported was oil burning and alternator issues. Couldn't find many people with cylinder issues, as Fred said it was only running on 3 cylinders. Most issues, like in most cars, start popping up around 100,000 miles, and the car did have over 100,000 miles by the time it ended up in New Hampshire. So there could have been other issues, like if it was a blown head gasket or something, but then normally it wouldn't just start right up and work perfectly fine.
The accident helped.
Oh, the accident fixed the mechanical issue?
Yeah.
Ah. It jolted something back into place?
Like the fourth cylinder started working.
Well, some people think that the car was damaged in a hit and run, and there was no real accident. For whatever reason.
Could be an
Like,
animal too,
if
right?
they were... I don't know. I guess, but there was no blood at all, no animal, no traces of the animal anywhere. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to say.
Either way, he talked to some girl, that bus driver. at
Unless
that
he made
scene.
that up. Because in his police transcript said that there was a man in
Oh
the
yeah, the
accident.
smoking or something.
That was the Westmans across the street. They said there was a man smoking a cigarette, and then Butch's police transcript, which was I'm sure Maxwell recalls the details perfectly, that he hit a tree, or he had an accident.
How do you...
He mentioned he, not she. That was later. So, or he could have been lying about the whole thing and saw nothing.
Or that could have been just a typo or a mistake.
In the police transcript?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose it's possible, but how often do you think that happens?
I don't know. But I'm thinking about the the staging of the car. Why Why so far? Is that
from Massachusetts.
yeah?
Maybe they were trying to dump her in the forest or something, and they didn't make it for whatever reason.
And get rid
Because
of the
that
car
turn
too,
is
maybe.
sharp. That turn is kind of sharp. So if they were towing her car
Hmm.
and something happened and the car got loose and they're like, oh, there's all these neighbors in here. Let's just stage it as best we can real quick and then get out of here. So that I don't think anybody insinuates that was the original plan, because that seems kind of weird to stage the car in front of houses.
Yeah.
Unless you specifically knew all those neighbors, but I don't know.
But she's still, or somebody still called, like, resorts in that area, right?
Correct. And there's actually a semi-bombshell about that as well that we'll get to later. But
So is that on the way to that area? Is it close by, those resorts?
Bartlett, I mean, there's not especially far. You wouldn't necessarily take that road, but I mean...
Unless you were lost,
yeah.
maybe, or took the
Yeah,
wrong exit.
yeah.
How far is it from the highway? Is it...
Not that far.
So it could have been a mistake.
Could have been a mistake, or, well, there were friends of the family that lived in that area. So, how do you rectify that? Butch Atwood is also from Taunton, Massachusetts, which is where Maura's cousins are from, and it's a very small town. So,
She
there's...
could have been going there, right?
Taunton?
Or...
Well, no, she would have already passed that. That's Massachusetts. She went up to New Hampshire. I'm just saying Butch Atwood was from Taunton.
Oh, gotcha, okay. But you... Oh, okay.
So they might have known. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of weird, super weird things in the case. So anyway, here's the thing with the car. Would an 8-year-old car that passed inspection just a few months prior and likely not even driven often since that time suddenly have become a major mechanical mess? Because supposedly Fred bought the car brand new or close to new. And if it was just highway miles... I don't know. Fred gave Maura the car when he got a new car. Now, other reports said, unconfirmed, supposedly the Saturn was in such bad shape that it was towed by her and her dad 100 miles via AAA Plus to Umass, Amherst, and dropped off in the parking lot. Sharon said it was because she locked her keys in the car, or this could be referring to a different tow.
The keys are on the outside. Oh, that was after. They set that up.
Yes,
Okay.
afterwards, yes.
We learn from our mistakes.
Exactly. Is it plausible that after 100,000 miles, it could have started coming up with issues, but a cylinder ceasing to function is not a common issue on these cars, judging from online reviews? So, where are we with the car passing inspection a few months prior, not being driven much, and needing to be towed? We also don't know for sure what happened with the tow. But after it, a spare key was kept on the exterior of the vehicle.
And never driven.
We don't know. James Renner reported that Maura was getting rides to her clinicals for the nursing program, so she wasn't driving the Saturn. She was getting rides with other people.
The car was towed to the school's parking lot?
Mid-January, yes.
Okay.
And
And it was
possibly-
left there, like possibly never driven.
It's possible she never touched it.
Okay.
Did someone else touch it? We don't know. Alden Olson, with his picture of the sticker, got a no trespass order just for asking about parking.
It's not
'Cause
weird.
Is that weird, Maxwell?
Of course it's weird.
Why would you think that's weird?
I don't know. I forgot what you guys were talking about before that.
The sticker.
No, I mean I know that.
If
but,
the
like, I
car
don't
was
know what you were
dropped, if the
talking
car
about.
was dropped off in the parking lot by AAA,
Uh-huh.
it might not have been driven again until the trip up to New Hampshire
Because it was broken.
from mid-January. I mean, that's not that long of a time. We're talking about a couple weeks here, but still,
Okay.
was it driven those couple weeks or not? Alden Olson was trying to find out which lot it was parked in, and would it be able to be parked in a different lot? Is that common practice? And then he got a no trespassing order for his trouble. You think that's weird?
Well,
I don't think
walking
it's
around
that-
with a sticker, yeah.
Why is that weird?
Because it's weird. I already
It's a
explained it.
picture of a sticker.
Picture of a sticker. You're like you can't
But
walk
do you-
around with a picture of a sticker of someone else's car. and
Why
shit.
not? How do you know it's somebody
Because
else's
it's
car?
kinda
What's your
fucked
friend's?
up.
What if it's your
Like,
friend's
it's-
car and they asked you to drive?
It's still fucking weird.
Why? What if you're gonna share? What if you're the roommate and you're just trying to find out where you
you
can
go
park?
to, you go to college and I take a picture of your car because it was parked down here, not in college.
Yeah, so what?
And then I go to your the security at the college that you attend.
Yeah.
And I ask you, hey,
At a
where
public
do you, where
university?
Do you, where,
Yeah,
do you
sure.
where do you park this car?
But that's not what he
And
got
then-
mad. Remember, he got mad. He answered that question. He got mad when he said, "Is it okay to park a car in a different? Is it common or okay to park a car in a lot that it's not assigned to?" And then Skinner started having the problems. So it wasn't even really the sticker.
It's I don't know.
So it was
Yeah,
asking whether you can park.
Well, first off, the question was, do you think it was weird? And I answered the question. I think it is fucking weird.
That he got a no trespass
No,
order.
no.
That was the
is-
original
that-
question.
That is weird. Well, okay, past that.
I
because-
agreed with you that it's more
because-
than 0 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh
Weird.
my god. It was like 0.5 or some shit.
No, that was what you said.
I know, but I reversed it. Or
No, I don't know.
Anyway.
I'm not giving a number on 0 to 10,
well, anyway,
but it's slightly weird.
I'm just
but
saying, like the whole thing with the.
asking parking questions at a public university doesn't
No,
seem that
it
weird.
is weird when you take someone else's parked sticker and ask security guards. Like,
Well, how do you
what-
know you didn't buy that car? How do he know you didn't buy that
Man,
car?
We're
trying to find the car that he bought.
He should have asked where they keep the key on that car.
that would have justified your reaction. If Alden Olson asked Skinner, do they keep a key on the exterior of cars in this parking lot? Then he might have actually got served a no trespass order. That would make sense a little bit because then this guy's trying to steal cars.
I don't know.
Simply asking a parking question of where a car can be parked, I don't think that's that weird.
Oh, excuse me. Can I? Where can I hide? When this car parks here, so I can kill the person. That's I don't know.
Yeah, if he asked
That's
that might justify a no trespass order. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, are you ready?
What about the sticker? Where
Are
is
you
this
ready?
parked?
Are you ready for more weirdness? So, we don't know how long it's been in the parking lot or if it's been driven at all since mid-January. However, we mentioned this before. We didn't really go too deep. This was on one of the first podcasts. Someone reported that the Saturn was at Anthony's Pier in Boston a few days prior to when she disappeared, possibly Saturday.
License plate and all, or what?
Yes.
Whoa!
You don't
Say it
remember
again.
this? You don't
Say it
remember
again.
this,
Wait, say it-
Maxwell?
Wait, say it again. Say it again. Where was it?
Okay. How many podcasts do you remember? So this is episode 20. How many do you remember? Like
I
one,
don't know.
two? All right.
I tried
So
listening to it.
this
again,
is
but-
from James Renner. You got to listen to the podcast that you were on to stay up to date. James Renner's blog from 2013. Was Maura in Boston just before she went missing? A couple weeks ago, a tip came in that on the surface sounded crazy, but has since gained some steam. A man was photographing the area outside Anthony's Pier 4 restaurant. Oh, by the way, this is where Alden Olson took a picture as well in one of his cryptic blog posts, but whatever.
Yeah, that's got to be the picture that he took then, maybe.
Who?
That dude that
Alden
went to the
Olson?
park- Yeah.
No, he was showed a picture with like an old couple. Like that was on like a rainy. That was that had nothing to do with it. He just leaves. He just leaves weird clues. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay.
What?
I don't know. He had a picture of the car.
The
with
sticker.
The
I don't want to
sticker.
talk about the sticker again, dude. Oh,
That's
man,
Maxwell's
it's
favorite
killing me.
topic.
But you're
is the
saying now
sticker.
he took a picture of the car?
No. This isn't Alden Olson.
Oh.
Yeah, I just said Alden Olson also had a picture of this Anthony's Pier 4 restaurant coincidentally.
Okay.
Unrelated to what I'm talking about now. That's
Okay.
just a weird coincidence because Alden Olson is kind of weird. Maxwell, do you think Alden Olson is weird or not? Or it's
He
just
is-
a
he
sticker
is,
that's
he is
weird.
especially when he walks around with a sticker.
Okay. All right. So, a couple days before Maura disappeared, here's what's weird. So, this anonymous tipster, he said he was doing research into notorious mobster or Whitey Bulger. Remember Whitey Bulger?
Not really, but I.
So his brother was the chancellor of Umass. The drug sting bust. We discussed this extensively, Maxwell.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so
Wait.
Oh yeah.
He went-
I
this
remember a
guy-
little
this
bit.
guy's investigating, doing research on.
And-
I'm not even sure if this guy knows about Maura Murray. So
Okay.
he's doing research on Whitey Bulger.
And he's at a car.
He's at Anthony's Pier 4 restaurant in Boston.
Okay, restaurant. Okay.
Yes, that's the spot. So Whitey Bulger killed some guy there a long time ago. So he's doing research, whatever. He's there. There were 2 vehicles parked in the lot.
Okay.
Okay. He didn't think about it much until later. See, one of the vehicles was Maura's Saturn, he says.
Wait, why would he say that?
He knows because the license plate is clear in the photo and it matches her plates that are in the public record. Only he won't scan the pics into a computer. He wanted to send them through the mail to a different source, but the photos never came. I know, right? Probably just a bunch of smoke, except the other vehicle that was there, he provided the license plate for that one too, and I tracked it down. I interviewed the guy who owned the truck. I don't think it was a red truck. I think it was a black truck. He says he doesn't know Maura, but yes, he was at Anthony's Pier 4 restaurant.
And there was only 2 cars there.
Did he say only 2? He said there were 2 It says there were 2 vehicles parked in the lot, and he didn't think much about it. Then he was reviewing the pictures and he looked at the plates.
Why would he look in? Why would it matter? Why would he look at the plates? And then figure out it's Maura Murray's.
Maybe he saw something on the news about Maura Murray and the Saturn.
Like, oh, it must be her
And then
car.
he saw the black Saturn and something jogged his memory. I don't know. So anyway.
So he took a picture of those 2 cars.
Yeah. And he provided the
as
license
a reference point, I guess, for his whatever he's doing.
He probably took a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
One of them was in the parking lot with the cars. Okay, and this is 2013, so she went missing in 2004.
This was 2013.
Yes, this whole incident with this guy sending him the picture was in
But
2013.
he took it in 2004.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So, which lends credibility to the photograph also showing Maura's car. If she was in Boston, what was she doing there, and why was she driving her Saturn so far if it was on its last leg? Almost everybody writes this off as non-legitimate.
And when again on timeline did this happen?
So he said this would be a few days before she disappeared, so possibly the Saturday before she disappeared. Now, her movements are relatively well known. I mean, Fred is kind of her alibi, so I'll get into that. So here's the thing. Some theorize that this reporter was silenced once again, and this lead was completely swept under the rug. Because if it was Maura's car, someone told him not to send whatever it was. If this was Saturday and Maura was car shopping with Fred, or doing whatever, looking for a place to repair the Saturn, as there were phone calls to auto body repair shops, then went out to eat with Kate, someone else could have had the Saturn and possibly taken it to Boston. So I think James Renner kind of assumed it was her. From his blog post, it seems like, what if Maura was there? What was she doing there? I think it's far more likely someone might have taken the Saturn, if this lead is legitimate, which I don't know if it is. It's kind of weird it came out of the blue in 2013, but that also, if he was looking at his pictures, because obviously at the time he wouldn't have known more or anything about it. Later, he's looking at his research or whatever. He sees the car, and it might have jogged his memory. He double checks. Wait a second, that's Maura's car.
So so her car was in the photo.
Yes, with another truck. So this anonymous tipster.
Did he show the license plate right on the? It did.
Yes.
I'm just making sure because I don't know.
No, they only said he never released the photo.
No. The tipster says he has a photo showing both license plates of Maura Saturn and the truck parked next to it. He gave James Renner the truck's license plate. James Renner tracked the plate down, talked to the guy, and the guy said he was there at Anthony's Pier.
So he never published the photo.
He did not supply the evidence that Maura Saturn was there. So theoretically, this guy could have owned the truck. It could have been his truck, right? If this tipster's playing games, it could have been the guy, right? Or there really could have been the truck in the parking lot on that day, but Maura's car wasn't there, and he just gave James Renner the license plate of a truck that happened to be in the parking lot that day, and the guy was like, yeah, I was there. So there's no proof that Maura's car was there either way. But it's just interesting because if the tip was legitimate and it was silenced, because if there's a Whitey Bulger connection or some kind of weird connection to Anthony's Pier 4, why is Alden Olson... All right, not a picture. Alden Olson had a video. One of his videos was at Anthony's Pier 4. He had a bunch of those weird videos that he put out. Why is that at Anthony's Pier 4?
Wait, why Alden?
Unless Alden was the one who sent the tip to James Renner about this truck and Maura's car. If Alden sent the tip, then that actually kind of makes sense.
Are you saying that he filmed the video of himself talking to the camera at the place?
There was a short video of Anthony's Pier 4. There was, like, I don't know.
But it was prior
remember.
to the reporting of the...
Yes. So if Alden Olson is this anonymous tipster, then it kind of makes sense, because that would account for his video, and it would lead mystery to the whole thing.
That would make sense, because he's a little kind of out there. So
is he? Because he's carrying around stickers, or other reasons?
No, not just... well, that's part, but...
That's the main reason Alden Olson is weird, because he carries around pictures of stickers.
Well, that's just part of it, but he is kind of fucking weird.
Alden Olson, videoed himself at that place?
Like talking
Not
into
himself.
the camera?
I don't know if. No, I don't think he was in that shot. I
But
think,
he
I think
filmed
just filmed
that
the place.
place.
Yes,
That was before 2013?
I believe that was 2012. Yes,
So
so it was before.
Okay. So, but somebody took a photo of Maura Murray's car at that place in 2004.
but never actually provided
Until
that.
Allegedly, we don't
2013,
know that he even
if
took the
that's
photo.
real.
The only thing we know, James
that
Renner
would
seems to
mean-
be legit and reporting everything as he sees it. So the only thing that's legit is there was a truck in the parking lot.
Wait,
James
hold
Renner
on.
verified that this
No, I know-
anonymous
I-
tipster. Yeah,
I know that.
All right.
Yeah, Alden Olson knows
So the truck was verified. except
something
for-
because he went there in 2012 for some reason and filmed it. And he uploaded it in 2012.
Yes.
So he knew her car was there. Depending on if he said something in the video, why would he randomly go to Boston and, oh, look at this restaurant? Wow. I wonder if her car was here. Is he her stalker? Or
He might be.
what's he up to?
Alden Olson right now.
Yeah, is he
He's still
coming on,
making
or-
blog posts. Yeah, we should have him on. What do you think, Maxwell?
Oh,
You want to
let's
get
do
into
it.
him about
Let's
the
do
picture
it.
of the
You
sticker?
know what? I'm going to talk
You wanna
about
get
that.
into him
We're
about
gonna
the
talk
picture with
about
the
damn
sticker?
sticker.
You weirdo walking around a parking lot.
Oh, I actually read it. I actually read his post about that. It was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I saw his viewpoint of like the weirdness of the that event. He has a photo of the cop walking up to his door, and yeah, that was weird.
So his name is Olden Olson or
Alden, A-L-D-E-N.
A-L-D-E-N.
Olden,
Alden Olson.
a.k.a. Dirtbag 112.
Yes.
He's on Reddit.
Don't watch his anniversary video. It'll give you nightmares.
What?
I think he's taunting James Renner with those videos.
Oh,
I don't
really?
think that's addressed to Maura or her family.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know.
Because I
that.
think he's making fun
I've
of
only seen
James
that
Renner,
one.
that James Renner is completely on the wrong track with the case. That's my inclination of it.
okay.
So why would he think that? Because he knows something?
It's actually. Oh, you missed that. You missed. That
Okay, so
episode.
regarding the video, so I think I don't remember seeing this video. There's a video where he's in the passenger seat of a car, and it's facing a stone arch bridge. I'm not sure if.
This is him?
Yeah,
Is he a construction worker?
I don't know if he's making fun of Rick Forcier in that video for being a
okay.
construction
Oh, that's a
worker.
video?
Yeah.
Dirtbag 112.
I don't remember
what's
where
this
the Pier 4, I because he took down a bunch of videos pretty quick. I think now that I'm trying to find it, I can't find that video at Anthony's Pier 4. I believe there was a video that was there at Anthony's Pier 4. Not sure.
Is this guy hated online?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we talk about him a lot.
But
But he did a
we
lot
had
of-
a full episode on him.
And then we followed up, and then we also met him on Persons. I mean, we talked about him in quite a few episodes. We're talking about him right now. We talked about the sticker and the sticker situation.
Does he comment on any of this stuff?
Nah, he hasn't commented on Mindshock yet.
He's gonna comment on our sticker debate. I might lose on that one, or I might. He'll take your side on.
All right, so are we done with that? Are we ready for the next big theory?
Oh jeez.
Mind shock effect.
All
Activated.
right, so one of the biggest problems with that Monday is nobody saw Maura. So allegedly, someone on campus saw her leave. That person's name is mentioned like once. So somebody told Billy that someone on campus saw her leave. That's either not true or we don't have the name, so it can't be corroborated. So here's the thing. Some very, very astute Reddit posters have pointed out many, many things.
I love Reddit.
One of them is that on Monday afternoon, someone made a statement. A witness went to Amherst Police Department to give a statement on the Patrick Vassy hit and run on Monday afternoon. Maura's movements are not quite accounted for because we don't have the security video from the liquor store and then the ATM we have, but we don't know if we can trust that timestamp. I think Johnny Mills said they made the whole thing up. And the video is
for the
fake.
TV show.
So here's 3 notes. So while we're on the topic of Alden Olson, he actually investigated the Patrick Vassy hit and run extensively and requested police documents that he got. He did some serious research in Amherst, and here's what we have. Law enforcement saw Patrick Vassy leave the bar drunk, and he was talking to 2 bouncers. So on a witness statement, so it was at somewhere around 3 p.m.-ish. Sometime during the night, I saw blank, so that's probably talking about Patrick Vassy, in the monkey bar. We spoke. I don't remember the details, but there were 2 bouncers speaking with him at the dance floor entrance.
Monkey bar?
The bar. It was a bar. Drinking bar.
Monkey?
That's what it's called. Drinking bar. So the officer is Brian Johnson, who investigated the Patrick Vassy hit and run. He's now a lieutenant in Amherst. So, obviously, Alden Olson thinks there's some massive police cover-up going on, I guess, because he's investigating all this extensively. So, here's the thing. So, the first note is a witness statement to Amherst PD, and Johnson signs for this at 3:11 p.m. So this is right before the time that Maura was at the ATM and the liquor store. So here's what some people on Reddit just postulating. They're not necessarily forwarding this theory, but here's what they're saying. A person makes a witness statement about the Thursday night Patrick Vassy hit and run at Amherst PD an hour before Maura is never seen again. Then Amherst isn't interested in checking the Saturn in New Hampshire when they find out. Then, even since Vassy has recovered, the files on the hit and run are still an open investigation. Today, any link seems very X-Files weird, just another coincidence. So do you think there's a connection between a witness giving information on the Patrick Vassy hit and run right around the last time Maura was ever seen again?
Arden Olson's weird.
Why? Because he's carrying around pictures of stickers?
2012. Why'd he go there?
Go where?
To that
Pier
place.
If he did. I'm not 100% on that. I can't find it right now. Where I'm pretty sure there was a video at Anthony's Pier 4. If that's Stone Arch Bridge in the rain, that might be Anthony's Pier 4, or it may not. Either way, if Alden was the one that sent the anonymous tip to Renner, then that makes sense, right? Because then that would connect it. So what do we think of this this witness statement on Patrick Vassy? There was some weird stuff going on with Patrick Vassy that night. We went over this in the Alden Olson episode, I think. That there were interactions with police and Patrick that night before the hit and run. Is Patrick Vassy part of this weird drug sting operation? Are these people CIs? How does all this link together with Whitey Bulger? His brother's the chancellor, and is there some kind of weird drug thing going on, and all these people are connected, and the police are involved in it? Is that why this whole thing gets blown up, and then everything gets swept under the rug, and more is just taken off the board?
So they were like providing drugs for the school or something?
Something like that. Here's the thing, like, it wouldn't even have to be all the police. Like, if it was like 2 or 3 police officers, that's it. So if they were involved, they covered it up kind of internally, obviously, and then the rest of the department doesn't know. So it's just a couple guys. So somebody involved in the UMass police department, a cadet, or, some security personnel. Skinner possibly knows about it. That's why he got triggered when Alden was showing pictures of stickers, or rather asking parking lot questions.
He got triggered.
So here's another curiosity about Patrick Vassy. Let's see what we think about this. He's very adamant that he didn't know Maura. So obviously there's a lot of students at UMass, but if you have a concussion and you know your memory is spotted, would you 100% start stating that you don't know somebody? It's kind of strange. Let's look at Vassy's interview. So this is from James Renner's blog. It is after the fact. It's January 10th, 2016, and that's when it was posted, so I guess it was earlier. Exclusive. Patrick Vassy says Maura Murray connection is far-fetched. At long last, I spoke to Patrick Vassy today. The conversation was brief, but quite revealing. I never met Maura Murray, he says. We didn't know each other. I've heard this theory that she may have been involved, but I think it's very far-fetched. He remembers nothing of the accident itself. He knows he was at a bar at Triangle and Matin around 12:20 a.m., and he remembers waking up months later. His body was found in the street, and it appeared he had been struck by a vehicle. There was a snowstorm that night, lots of snow coming down, he recalls. And what of the investigation into the hit and run? I have never spoken to the police. Not once. I don't even know if it's an open case. Why would he think it was far-fetched if he doesn't know who hit him? How would he know what theory was far-fetched or not, and why is he still adamant about it? And the police never even spoke to him? I think that's a lie. I remember reading some articles close to the time. I think the police, well, he was in a coma, so I guess they didn't. But they try. I mean, I'm sure they would have tried to if he wasn't in a coma. But if it's still an open case after the fact, because they don't want to answer Alden Olson's questions about the whole Patrick Vassy hit and run, and it's an open investigation because it was never solved, and yet they never even talked to the victim. Maxwell, if you're running an open investigation as a police department, would you not interview the victim?
Of course.
But he said he was never interviewed.
Huh.
What do you make of that, Johnny? It's a conspiracy, man. We got our tinfoil hats on here. Here's an article, Student Faces Long Road to Recovery, by Brandon Heck, Collegian Correspondent. This is October 18th, 2004, a couple months after, same year. In the wake of several hit-and-run accidents this academic year involving University of Massachusetts students, one lucky student is back in school to finish his senior year after an accident last winter left him in critical condition. After being found unconscious in the middle of the night, spending a month in a state of comatose, followed by months of rehab, Patrick Vassy of Dorchester, Massachusetts says he plans to graduate in the spring. At 12:20 a.m., Friday, February 6th, 2004, so this is late Thursday night, Amherst police found Vassy on the side of the road at the intersection of Triangle and Mattoon Streets in Amherst. Vassy spent over a month at Spalding Hospital in what he describes as a state of comatose. Vassy said that he could hear people speak to him, and he was able to speak fragmented sentences, but he could not open his eyes. When asked about the accident, Vassy scratched his head and stated, "I can barely remember anything about that night." Yet when he's talking to James Renner, he's saying it was snowing. From what he does remember, Vassy had been out with a friend and had been drinking. Vassy also remembers going back to his friend's house and waiting for a car to pick him up. That was the extent of Vassy's memory of the night of the accident. Police stated that Vassy's injuries were consistent with being struck by or falling from a moving vehicle. When asked if he could remember which one it was, Vassy replied, "I can't confirm or refute that I was thrown from a car, but I think that I was hit." Vassy gave reasons for believing he was hit, including the fact that his injuries were all on the right side of his body, and also that the friend that was supposed to pick him up, and according to Vassy, the only person I would have ridden with, came to the hospital the next morning. However, Vassy also stated that there was no money in his wallet when he was found, but he dismissed the idea of being robbed and confirmed that he actually does not carry much money in his wallet anyway. I mean, there's a difference between much money and no money. Wouldn't you have at least a couple bucks? I don't know. Vassy continues to speculate on the circumstances surrounding his accident. "It would be more of a story for me to tell you that I got thrown from a car," he then smiled and said. "It would be more notorious, but because of the injuries, I am confident that I was hit." Police would not comment further about the incident because it is still under investigation. When Vassy, as he called it, woke up in early March from his state of comatose, he remembers not knowing where he was and thinking that he had been in a comatose for much longer than a month. "When the doctors asked me how old I thought I was, I said 27. After waking up, Vassy went through rigorous physical therapy, confined to a wheelchair for the first week. Vassy then graduated to a walker, and from the walker to a cane. Now, over 6 months after waking up, Vassy can walk without the support of a cane, but still admits it is hard work. "Walking to me now is like running used to be to me, and it's pretty funny sight to see me try to run," Vassy said. Vassy's memory is still recovering as well, and is, according to Vassy, still a little shady sometimes. As several students have been the victims of car accidents this year alone, including Lisa Shiozaki and Ciara Tran, both of which were left in critical condition, Vassy's accident proves not to be an isolated event, and his recovery proves to be very fortunate. Vassy reflected on the incident with a positive outlook, saying, "I am happy just to be alive. This whole thing has really put things in perspective for me, and it has matured me much faster than I would have normally." All right, what do we think of Patrick Vassy? Is the hit and run strange? Why were there so many hit and runs? Why are they not being investigated? Why would you not even interview the victim of the hit and run if you're trying to solve hit and runs?
They don't know how to drive out there.
Yeah, but why would the police not investigate that? Unless you think it was a rogue police officer going on hit and runs?
By the way, he felt the snow probably. He felt the snow. Remember when you said, like, he said to Renner? so he didn't see it because he couldn't open his eyes, but he felt the snow on his face.
I'm not 100% sure it was snowing that night. It might have started to snow. I think the major snowfall was going on the next, or actually, yeah, I guess it would have started somewhere around that time, but because the next day classes were canceled due to the snowfall. So, also of note, the witness that made the statement at Amherst PD about Patrick Vassy, that morning was when it was announced that Patrick Vassy was in a hit and run in critical condition, might not even survive.
Jesus.
So is the witness connected to Maura in some way? What is going on? Is there a connection there? Do we think there's a connection there or no?
I don't know. I mean, there's nothing on.
Witness makes a statement, Maura disappears. Another coincidence.
But it's not like I mean, there's nothing on the Saturn, right? There's or the dad's.
We don't
car.
know. So there were paint chips. There were paint chips. Originally, the report said, we read this report on the Alden Olsen episode. Originally, the report was redacted. Then they cleared it. You can read it, I think. They said the paint chips don't appear to match, but it's basically inconclusive. It's a whole bunch of... It's difficult to say. Because some of the colors, I think, actually match the Domino's car, but I don't know.
That's really weird. To put someone in that much damage and not get nothing, you know?
On the car?
Well, on him. Or
on Vassy?
And on the car, I guess. I mean, there's...
I don't know.
A lot of that stuff. He was in a coma.
Wouldn't you wouldn't you interview them, though, if you're investigating the case?
Of course.
And yeah, he wasn't.
When did that happen again? That was like right before she disappeared?
That was Thursday night. That's the night of the breakdown.
Okay. So what if she was trying to hide her car?
So technically, the phone call to the desk came in at 12:40. Well, that's the thing. That Saturday, her and Fred supposedly were shopping for a new car because the Saturn wasn't running well. And, but yet it started right up on that Friday. I don't know. And then she was calling, they were calling car repair places. By the way, the owner of one of those car repair shops is also Patrick Vassy's landlord.
No, so she hit the guy and then wanted to get the car out of there.
Well, she would have had to leave the security desk in order to do so, to hit the guy. It wasn't that far away, but I think it's more likely someone else used her car.
Or that, yeah.
So, any final thoughts on that, Maxwell? All right.
Well, what were the body injuries on Patrick? Like,
He just said the right side of his body was hit, and then he was in a coma.
So there's
So basically, no injury to the left side of his body.
He was still unsure if he was possibly thrown out of a car, though.
Or hit. Well, supposedly it was hit.
Yeah.
And there were many other hit and runs, so there was a number of hit and runs.
What if the dad just took the car to do something or whatever?
Fred?
And he hit somebody or...
Well, he had his own car, though. He had... Oh, wait. On Thursday night, he wasn't even there on Thursday night. He was working.
Because, I mean...
he drove up the next day.
Friday.
Yep.
Because the injuries...
Well, he was there by... I don't know if he came Friday or Saturday. He came either Friday or... Because they were car shopping Saturday.
And then Saturday,
he was working on...
He was in Massachusetts.
He works in Connecticut. So he was in Connecticut, I think, on Thursday.
And then Saturday, supposedly they're in Massachusetts. In Boston.
Her car might have been. They were in Amherst.
Okay.
And then they went out to eat with Kate that night. Then they dropped Fred. Another weird thing, they dropped Fred off at his hotel. Why would Maura need his Corolla? If she's just going to campus, why didn't he drop her off and drive back to the hotel?
Did she not notice that maybe her car was stolen, somebody took it? Or did know, like, oh, the car's gone. Like,
if she allowed somebody to borrow it, or someone took it without allowance?
Yeah.
And she knew who took it?
Or knew or didn't know.
And that person called her on Thursday night and said, oh, by the way, when I was borrowing your car, I hit some guy, he's probably dead.
Or probably said I hit an animal, or like, I don't know, or anything.
Oh, they lied and said it was just an animal?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that we can't forget, she called Domino's at like 3:40 a.m. or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
After close, and that's the same Domino's that she was using a stolen credit card number for. Would you call back the same? There's something weird going on. So she knew someone at Domino's. There's a lot of weird connections.
There was a connection with that.
We talked about it every single time.
Oh, wow.
So
I completely missed that.
She called...
I think you were involved in the conversation about it.
So she called Domino's to make an order for a delivery?
No, we don't know what she did.
No, but... Because you said that the guy, Patrick Vassy, had there's pieces of car there from the Domino's.
No, it might have had the same colors as a Domino's car. Yeah, we don't know.
So she called, ordered pizza delivery.
Well, she
Domino's
called
guy
the Domino's at 3:40. The accident was at midnight.
Oh.
After midnight.
How important is determining? Well, I guess it's really important. I mean,
What?
I don't know. I'm just thinking like the injury report on Petrie might be telling on what kind of car hit him, or
Why?
do you know what I mean?
How does the injury?
I mean, if it's what if you investigate the injuries and it happens to be more of a truck than a car or something?
Oh, you mean in that sense?
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's yeah, you could, but I mean, I think that it seems like he was hit. I'm guessing. What's the most common car? Sedan. So like
He was walking around though,
walking drunk or something. I don't know.
because he was with friends.
And then they left him. And then he walked to a building to get picked up. Never got picked up. And then he was also interacting with bouncers at a club while drunk and police officers. So it was a lot of strange weirdness with even that.
Because I mean, if he had a severely broken leg versus a broken hip or something, do you know what I mean? It's like a higher impact zone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying it can be
I don't know.
telling. I mean, if you can go
Could be,
back
yeah.
and investigate that might be telling.
If they were interested in doing an investigation. All right, let's look at the cadet let's look at the cadet program. So we have the Hadley crash. Supposedly there was a police cadet on scene that called it in. Okay. So let's look at the police cadet program. So there were only 15 University of Massachusetts Amherst police cadets. The first class, which had 15, would be graduating from training. Okay, there was articles about this. They named these people. What's interesting is that one of these people, so they have deals. I mean, they have cooperation from nearby towns and universities, so it wasn't just Amherst. Only 2 of them were actual UMass Amherst students at the time that they were cadets. So that narrows it down. It was a male and a female. And one of them had the last name Peterson. So here's what's interesting. Another Redditor came up with some good info on this. Lori Bruno, the psychic, on the Missing Maura Murray podcast, she said she came up with a name, which they did not give her. She said Peter. Peter is who? Who's the man called Peter or Peterson? Arm hurts, something with the arm. Here's my dissection. Arm hurts, Amherst, Amherst, arm hurts. What do you think about that?
I don't know. It's possible. Did she actually she said that?
Arm hurts, something with it. Well, here's the weird thing. If she's a real psychic and she's just hearing and getting signals and signs, they're all mixed together. So it's up to be deciphered. Now, she said that right after Peterson, who was a cadet at the time.
And that was never spoken of.
Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first mention of him ever.
And then they looked into who Peterson was.
No, nobody did. Nobody checked.
After she
I don't think
brought it up.
anyone's ever.
Nobody ever checked Peterson, I don't think.
Well, they've never investigated.
Well, they don't have his
the
first name.
cadets.
Lori never said his first name, and she thought it might be Peter. Peter Peterson, Amherst, Amherst. Is that close enough for you, Maxwell?
I don't know.
Peter Pan.
Amherst, Armhurst.
I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
Is it close enough?
Yeah. Arm hurts.
And so Skinner isn't on the list, but he was a student at the time, and he's the same age as Maura.
Say that one more time.
Skinner, the guy that you don't think is weird for serving Alden Olson a no trespass order for having a sticker.
I think it's weird. I never
To
argued
get a no
against
trespass order? That was the main crux of that whole conversation.
I just thought it was weird that he was walking around with a sticker.
Picture of a sticker.
Picture of a sticker.
Okay, anyway. So here's what I posited on the Reddit as well, on the Mindshock Reddit. You can join the conversation there if you want. A lot of people doing some good research. What if it wasn't a police cadet? So it could have been misreported as a cadet, but it's either another officer, someone made a mistake, and they called that person a cadet. So it's almost like a wild goose chase, either on purpose or not on purpose. If it was purposely called a cadet, it might be someone who they know, and they don't want them ever identified. So they just said, oh, it was a cadet, and then they don't talk about the cadet to make it look suspicious, so everybody's looking for the cadet. Or is that a bridge too far, Maxwell? Because if it was, maybe it was a CI or whoever, or a friend of an officer. We don't know. What do you think? Nothing. No thoughts,
No,
Maxwell.
they-
Johnny? All right, so this is from the UMass Police Department website. Police cadets on what police cadets do. Police cadets provide additional security to UMPD officers. Complementing the UMPD, the police cadets provide an additional level of security and further strengthen the UMPD community policing efforts. Assigned primarily in the residential areas, the cadets work very closely with police officers and the resident hall security force. That includes Maura Murray. She worked the security desk at a residence hall. Cadets are extensively trained in police techniques, perform foot patrols, parking enforcement, prisoner watch, and perform ancillary functions to free officers for other duties. As students, they often see and hear what the police cannot, spotting problems early and alerting police to intervene and prevent escalation. Pathways of police cadet graduates. Since the program's beginning in 2003, more than 160 young men and women have participated in the UMPD police cadet program. Many have used the experience they gained as a launching point to a career in law enforcement. So, are you ready for another weird thing, Johnny and Maxwell?
Yeah.
You're not ready. You guys aren't ready. All right. This could be nothing, but some people who have done some digging have found. So, Linda Salamone, that's the condo that Maura Murray called.
Yeah.
And the police didn't even bother speaking to her till like the next year.
Uh-huh.
And then she couldn't remember speaking to Maura.
Yeah.
There's someone on the track team with the same last name on Maura's track team.
Oh shit.
On the UMass track team, there is a Salamone.
But
What are the odds? How popular of a name is Salamone? Do you know anybody with the last name Salamone, Maxwell?
Nope.
Johnny?
Salamone or is it
first
Salomon?
Salamone with an E at the end.
Oh, Salomon. No, I don't know.
Me neither. I mean, it's not the rarest last. It's not so super rare that we could say, oh, definitely a connection. But I don't know. Just interesting. Do we also think that members of the track team know a lot more than they said? Because for some reason, most of them don't talk other than the one, I think. So James Renner interviewed one. We read that on the interview. I mean, we read that interview on our last podcast. What? You don't remember, Max? I am shocked. I am shocked and appalled that you would forget a detail of the podcast.
Your mind shocked.
Yes. There's just no way. I mean, Maxwell's memory is so good.
Yeah, but is wait, who did they interview? I think it's Kate, right?
No.
Oh no,
Well, he talked to Kate a few
Kate was the
times.
one that rejected everybody.
Well, no, she talked to him a little bit. There were some emails. She did a little bit, but then she stopped. Anyway, is the Salamone connection weird or no?
Well,
There's someone on the track team that may or may not be related to Linda Salamone.
yeah, but that's the name of the hotel, right?
No. That's the condo owner.
Or the kind of owner.
Her name is Linda Salamone. And they never tried to get in touch with her until so far after the fact she forgot she would never remember. She said if they had gotten in touch with her within days or even a week or two, she probably would have remembered. Unless that was a cover. And this is not pointing suspicion at anyone or anything. Just coming up with theories. And while we're on the topic of theories, here we go. This isn't talked about enough, also pointed out on Reddit. So Kate and Sarah didn't even go up to New Hampshire to look for their friend. Even if they weren't close friends, if you knew somebody, even as an acquaintance, and they went missing, would you try to help? Especially if you were at a party with them and possibly also on a same sports team with them, going to the same university as them, and going out to dinner with their father 2 days prior. Would you go up to search, Johnny? Here's what's even weirder than that, though. They didn't even call Maura's cell phone. Kate and Sarah never even called, so this isn't talked about enough.
That's weird because like you would be.
Why is nobody
like,
calling your
maniac.
cell phone?
Did people already try
wait,
calling
hold
it?
on,
And
wait,
then they're like, oh, there's
they
no
released her
use.
cell phone records. Nobody's calling her.
Oh, yeah, again,
wait,
where
but
was her phone
is
again?
it because
Did she have
is it because they understood that she already lost it?
On Saturday,
it
but then
back,
she
yeah.
got it back on Sunday. But
So-
even if she lost it, wouldn't they still call it just in case?
But it was
Yeah.
never found, or what happened?
It was never found to this day, no.
So, okay.
So if she had it with her, if she went up to New Hampshire, and if she had it with her, she'd still have it with her. There was a call between Billy and Maura, which we talked about.
think-
But nobody's calling. Nobody on the following Sunday. We talked about that extensively. But nobody's calling her cell phone in the days that she's missing. Why not?
How do we know?
Billy
that we
called a
didn't?
couple times.
How
Billy
long did
called
they
a few
keep-
times,
how
but
long
that's
they,
it.
I'm assuming.
And Billy stopped calling her dorm room. Somehow he knew she wasn't there.
How long
but
they keep the line for?
I don't know.
The Rush family. 'Cause
I don't know how long they kept it after she went missing.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with the week and
I'm
2
just
or 3
curious.
weeks? Yeah, but what does that have to do with the week or 2 or 3
Nothing,
she went missing?
completely nothing.
So
I'm
they
just,
didn't
I'm
call
just
her.
curious about something else.
They didn't call her. Nobody called her. Why are Kate?
I
and
know.
Sarah
I
not calling
understand
her?
that. I'm surprised as you are, but I'm just saying.
Johnny?
Like, I'm
Are we?
thinking
Are
about
you really
another
sure
thing.
nobody called?
Yes, they released the phone records. Nobody's calling her phone.
Just Billy.
Billy called a couple times. Yeah, that's it. Not
Oh,
even
you're
that
talking
many.
about the phone records, like
Mora's
as proof.
phone. Yes.
yeah,
Mora's
because
phone.
remember Billy Rash's family gave that as a gift, so they have all. I don't
The
know if you
PI
remember
is released. This information has been released. The full phone record, except for one page, which is the roaming calls. But you can see that nobody called her that day. The next, Kate and Sarah are not
Could be
calling.
possible, like she didn't even have service, so the call would never go through.
They have a record of that. It's called the Londonderry ping. Somebody did try to call her before she went missing, but it didn't. So it depends. That's true. But nobody's even calling her that Monday, though. Like, even before
No text.
she went.
No.
Well, we don't have the text. That's a good point. We didn't really talk about that extensive. We don't have the text records.
And
So-
that I don't think you can get.
You can't get it?
You
well,
might get the
2004. I mean,
like you can't read it.
uh,
You can't read the text, but you'd be able to know. I think that a text went through. Like
Huh.
you used 100
Well,
of
that-
200, or because you would have back then. You had to pay for text. You had to hit a limit.
2000. Yeah.
You didn't really have unlimited. If you did, it was really expensive.
What kind of phone she have? Did she have a Razor or some shit? Or
This is 2004. They have the model of the phone. It was one of the earlier model phones.
probably like
Basic.
the Nokia type thing. The one you had to text with the numbers and shit. That shit was insane.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be a record
Dude,
on how many texts.
Dude, kids got so good at texting they didn't have to look at the.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like
No,
they
I
just,
was that
They
too. I
just
did
go,
that.
oh, you were like that.
I got pretty decent at it.
I could do it fast, but I kind of had to look down. That was
Like right at the screen. Well, I guess you would do it like in.
Oh no!
Yeah.
People had it like people would text through their pocket, like they would have it in their pocket
Oh.
and they would text.
That wasn't me then.
That yeah, I wasn't that good. Like, but I've seen kids do that.
So her phone model was the Sprint SPH A620, and it does support text messaging.
Wait, I want to look that up. So what is it? Sprint.
It's the SPH A620.
It's old school.
Yeah. So from what I can see here, we don't know if text messages. So this is from John Smith. He said, we don't know if text messages were retrieved from this phone by the police department.
Yeah, like that. Like I was saying, I don't think you would be able to even get that.
Yeah, but whether they did or they didn't, I don't think they even said. And they have not shared any of that information.
Voicemails. I don't know.
Well, the voicemail, there's a record of her calling the voicemail to check the voicemail, yes. But so anyway, so Kate and Sarah are not calling the phone. It would be interesting to get Kate and Sarah's phone records, wouldn't it? Because Billy also talked to Kate.
This
So he's
phone was
calling.
a gift from Billy's parents. You said
Her phone, yes.
So
and she was
they
under
could
her.
have turned it off.
Turned what off?
Her phone service.
They didn't, though.
It stayed open.
Because there was the phone call where he might have talked to her.
No, turn. Well, the last call was Monday that she received. We're at hour and 12 minutes.
I mean, there's a page missing. 9 is missing from the record. So either Sharon, like they didn't release. There's one page missing, which would be interesting to see, right?
Mm-hmm. Why would it be missing?
We don't know.
Wait, what was missing?
What?
Nothing. Wait, what was missing?
The last page of the phone bill, so that could show roaming calls or whatever.
Huh.
I mean, there's another curiosity that we have here that we didn't really like. So James Renner had another interesting blog post Monday, September 19th, 2016. Was Maura with Kate just before she left UMass? I'm taking another close look at the phone records for Bill Rausch and Maura Murray from the day Maura disappeared, and I found a sequence of calls that is interesting. According to Bill, he was out in the field helping with some kind of training exercise at Fort Sill, but apparently there was cell phone reception out there because he's busy calling Maura all morning. She's not returning his calls. Then at 2 p.m., Maura sends this email to Bill. Subject, hey, to Billy Rausch. I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly, I didn't feel like talking too much of anyone. I promise to call today, though. Love you, Maura. Bill ignores this and calls her cell phone again. Maura doesn't answer. At 2:18, he calls Kate Markopoulos's dorm room at Umass twice in 1 minute. Seconds later, Maura calls Billy back, but he's still connected to Kate's room, so the call goes to voicemail. But then immediately calls Maura's cell again 3 times. She doesn't answer. A couple takeaways. There was some stress between Maura and Bill that day, and Maura is only prompted to call him once he calls Kate. Did Kate tell Maura? Why wouldn't she talk to Maura if Maura's boyfriend was calling from Fort Sill? Obviously, Billy really wanted to get a message to Maura. Was Maura in Kate's room? Is that how she knew he was calling at that moment? But what happened? That's the day she went missing.
Monday?
Yeah.
So she actually... I didn't know she was sending emails till now.
Yeah. She also sent it to the professor saying there's a death in the family or a family emergency. She's not going to be in class.
Do you know the timeline of that? Death in the family? Was that Monday also?
Yes, that was all that morning.
Monday.
Or early afternoon. So what happened next? That is the question. Again, phone records show that Bill is pretty consistently making phone calls that day. He made a lot of calls to West Point professors, former girlfriends, and family members. That alone suggests he could not have been in the White Mountains, where cell phone service is scarce to this day. A year ago, I asked Bill about his alibi. Here's the email he sent back. As previously discussed with you and confirmed by authorities in New Hampshire while I was on the ground searching for Maura after she went missing, I was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma the day Maura went missing to include the weeks in advance. The last time I saw her was during the holiday season. Understanding that you need to confirm, please reference the information below. From June 2003 to June 2004, I was assigned as the executive officer to Charlie Battery, 1 to 19th Field Artillery at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. 2 individuals who can confirm that I was at work when Maura went missing and that I was unable to leave until the Army gave me permission are 1, Senior Drill Sergeant Robert Ramos, assigned to Charlie Battery 1 and in charge of operations and all drill sergeants assigned to the room. 2, Lieutenant Nate Mayfield, a roommate at the time. Nate Mayfield and Robert Ramos have not returned emails or phone calls asking to confirm. One bit of interesting info that just came to light. Records show that Bill was part of the Information Operation Task Force. In 2005, journalists discovered that American soldiers were writing propaganda in support of the unjustified war in Iraq and funneling it through private groups, which then helped to place the articles in foreign newspapers. Rausch is listed as working for the IOTF in 2006. Prior to this, Rausch was stationed at Fort Troughton as a part of the 301st Battalion, part of the 151st Theater Information Operations Group, which tasked with synchronizing related capabilities comprised of 5 core functions: electronic warfare, military deception, psychological operations, operational security, and computer network operations. You paying attention, Maxwell?
Trying.
Psychological operations is known as PSYOPs in the field. PSYOPs create spin to influence, disrupt, corrupt, or usurp adversarial, human, and automated decision-making while protecting our own. In the past, they have attempted to infiltrate American media as well, most notably getting caught at CNN and NPR. All right, so I don't know why he went off that tangent on Bill Rausch and what he was involved with, but I guess he's alleging that Bill Rausch is very familiar with psychological warfare and deception. I don't know. What do you think, Maxwell? He kind of started that post off though with was Maura with Kate in Kate's dorm room.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
So if that's the last, so Kate might be the last person to have seen Maura. Is Kate the person they were referencing in seeing Maura leave campus? So Kate definitely knows more than she's saying, does she not? Johnny? Yes, no?
Why don't they know how to answer their phones when they ring?
That's a tough one. And why are they not calling Maura? What is the possible... They must know where she is, what she's doing to not call the phone, right? Like the same reason if you don't go look for somebody, it's because you already know where they are, right? Or you just don't care. Which is highly unlikely because she was still responding to Renner, trying to help initially. She was responding to Renner's emails, trying to help.
She was definitely in her dorm.
Who, Kate? Or Maura?
Maura. She was in somebody's dorm that has access to a computer to send an email.
If she sent that email. Yeah.
Okay, not her phone, because you couldn't
Yes,
really
I
do that from your phone.
I don't
It's
think
possible.
I
but
don't think she could do that from that model. No.
yeah, so you're definitely in Kate's logged
I
into her
believe
computer.
they found. I believe they looked through her computer, so I think she was in her computer in her dorm room
Okay.
at the time of the email, but I'm not sure. I don't know if we could prove that.
So she sends the email. He calls back. He doesn't even send an email.
Well, he's calling her constantly. Then he calls Kate's dorm room, and then that's when Maura calls him back. Very strange.
And this is all within like a 5-minute period, or like really short,
yeah,
or
it's-
like a
yeah,
couple hours.
yeah,
Like
all
short.
about- yeah, short time period. We don't know what's going on, but Kate does, and so does Bill. Billy Roush actually just posted on Twitter about Maura Murray.
No kidding. What'd he
Yeah.
say? What'd he say?
Well, he was responding mostly to the whole James Renner, Aaron Larkin, junior high slugfest.
Oh wait, but it was something.
Slugfest.
Wasn't it something just
They're just
like
attacking each other.
yeah, but it wasn't really important to anything, right?
How do you spell his name?
Bill Roush. He just posted about bullying by James Renner. And then Tom Arnold jumped in. Bullying is bad.
Oh, here we go. 2 days ago. Pinned tweet. You want me to read it? Or
Go ahead.
14 plus years ago, my girlfriend disappeared in New Hampshire while I was in the Army station at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. While we still don't know what happened, amazing people like GRLA ontologists are relentless.
Gorilla Ontology, that's Aaron Larkin.
Okay, are relentless in their search to find Maura, find out more about the case. The 107degree.com. Then he posted a picture of them with the dad.
Yeah, so supposedly, like, he's talking publicly now about the disappearance, which he hasn't done in forever. Now, what's weird is James Renner has accused him of many, many things, and he has not sued him. So that's also a little strange, because he's, there was all these allegations. Bill says the allegations are false, and that he was not fired from jobs due to sexual harassment or whatever. But apparently some victims of Bill's sexual harassment told James Renner. And Renner made some of that public, but I don't think he would name the victims unless they went public. So I guess Aaron alleged that James Renner made all that up to make Bill look bad. But it would be interesting to ask Bill about the whole Umass thing to see if he avoids it or not. But we don't know.
There's a little on that Bill Roush tweet. John Truth Seeker Smith replied to that. Is that John
That's
Smith?
John Smith, yes.
He's like, I've been here searching for Maura for 14 years, side by side with Fred Murray, looking for his little girl. And then Bill's like, if you know Fred, I'm sure he told you the Army granted me emergency leave to search for Maura by his side for weeks after she disappeared. We searched together, we did interviews together, and we worked with the police together. If you've been here for Fred, I thank you for that. And then John Smith wrote back and said, yes, Fred did tell me this info. Guess I'm just not clear on how many times you came back up here to New Hampshire after you left the first time. Why do you feel she was running to New Hampshire? Thanks for answering. Then it just goes back and forth a few times.
What is the response to that?
Yeah.
Bill said, I plan to talk more about Maura, how much she is loved by
I
her
avoided
fam
the question, huh?
and friends, why I think she may have drove to New Hampshire. I'll also talk about my time searching for her with Fred, my parents, and others. If after that you still have questions, I'll be happy to answer. And then he
Still
said,
didn't answer.
Still didn't
The hell?
answer. How many times? He must have not came back a single time.
It goes back a few more times. So John said, oh, that is awesome. Will you be doing an interview with Aaron? Gorilla, whatever. Looking forward to hearing from you in the future. Thanks. And Bill said, I intend to share Maura's story through conversations with people who I believe Maura would respect and who have treated her family with dignity. More to follow. Then John
What a
comes
jab
back
at
in.
James Renner.
John said, I have treated her family with nothing but dignity. I continue to do so and still search for answers into Maura's disappearance. We'll be here for Fred and his family until he desires otherwise. I want the truth and justice. Then Bill comes back and says, it sounds like we want the same thing. Thank you again for being there for Fred.
Still
Do you
didn't
want me to,
Politicized answers.
do you want me to
didn't
keep
answer.
going? It goes.
There's more? Yeah, go ahead.
All right. It has been my honor to try and help the Murray. This is John. Help the Murray family for all these years. I'm relentless. Sometimes think that is my middle name. There are so many that want the same thing. Let's hope that someday we will have that closure. And then John wrote again, I have a question that I am hoping you can and will answer. Why did you never come back to New Hampshire after you left on February 19, 2004? This is like a different thread within that same tweet. Just seeing this, John, I believe I addressed this in my previous response to you. Also,
You did not.
the date you have for when I return to Fort Sill is incorrect. Again, more to follow. John, thank you, Bill. Hopefully your coming forward personally will clear up so much up for us, for so many.
He doesn't want to answer that he didn't come back again.
It seems that communication in this case had not always been the greatest, and in some cases became the telephone game. Thank you again for talking about this, Bill. There's no need to thank me. I've decided to talk about this very personal part of my life for one reason, Maura. John, and that is truly what this is and should all be about, Maura. Then some other random guy, Mike Trokey, agrees she's the only one who deals in source material and not gossip. Oh, replying to the gorilla, GRLA, whatever.
Aaron?
Yeah, I don't know. There's more, but
This is recent.
yeah, this is all 2 days ago.
Okay, so he won't answer that he didn't that he most like, because if he had come back, he was like, oh, of course, I came back to look this time. And then it was not feasible to do so. Like, you can make so many normal answers to that, and he chose not to answer, so that's pretty interesting.
That's weird, man.
Unless he's
answer the
just
damn
holding
question.
it until he's ready.
Unless he has some really good
to
info.
get
But
something-
the biggest thing that's weird is he didn't go on the Oxygen show. He didn't, and he did seem those first days, like his news reports, where he's like, I feel like Scott Peterson. Like, he was actually talking to the media at first, and he actually seemed, I don't know, he seemed sincere in a way, like concerned, sincere, I don't know. But then he never talked again for forever. And now, out of the blue, he's coming out. And then it's the whole, because James Renner did kind of point the finger at him through asking many questions, and it looks like Bill did respond to him initially, like Kate, and then stopped for some reason.
No one likes.
Were
James
they
Renner,
told,
huh?
or were they told to not talk to him?
Huh.
A lot of curiosities in this case. But then, I mean, you have a lot of weird smoke screens too, like the Oxygen show, where you have Art Roderick and Maggie Freeling going like, "Oh, the timeline's not that important." Oh, it was Cruiser. Which were you in, the Cruiser or the SUV? Like, and then completely like they didn't interview any of the emergency response or the fire department or any of these other people to corroborate the police's story.
I still haven't seen it. I saw maybe the first half of the first episode.
Good thing you're doing a podcast on
Maura Murray.
Maura Murray.
20 episodes in.
So, a lot of unanswered questions on UMass. I think we've delved into UMass pretty well. The next episode will be going into some other factors before going back to Haverhill for some even more bizarre oddities there. So we hope you enjoyed the podcast. You can donate to our PayPal. Check out our social media sites, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell for further notifications of podcasts. This is Bruce McGuire signing off.
And Maxwell Powers.
And Johnny Mills.